get super blown out if you.
You're watching the Eternal Tournament Series.
And we are back for round 4 of the third ETS Weekly of Season 6. I am SirRhino, and I would say joining right now is aReNGee, but he had to step away for a few minutes taking care of a little mini emergency, but he should be back in the booth in just a few minutes once this match gets underway. So in the meantime, let's break down the match that's in front of us. We've got two players in the 3-0 bracket staring each other down here. We've got Elunex on Film Control up against Hulkbuster on a Fire Justice Shadow mid-range list. So Elunex, we've seen some Film Control already today. We saw Finkel playing it earlier, but Elunex is opting for a more Vera-based strategy here as we see 3 Vera on the top end, but still 4 Champion of Cunning, 4 Black Sky Harbinger, 4 Steward of the Past. You know, the bulk of the middle of Felm isn't going to change too much. It's really, sometimes you have different choices on the top end, but notably there is a one of Swindle, but it's really, you know, you just switch to the other style of Felm if you need to with the sideboard with Celestial Omen, Azindal's Gift, Channel the Tempest, Rain of Frogs, all those goodies in the sideboard. On the other end, we've got Hulkbuster going with, Fire Justice Shadow mid-range here. And they're, you know, it's just a lot of good stuff. 4 Ikaria, 4 Mokto, 4 Harsh Rule, 1 Throne Warden, although it looks like the deck image generator didn't like it there. 4 Rises, 4 Maidens, and some weapons and all the good stuff, right? Slay, Torch, to find what you need when you need it. 3 Extract, I guess, to help out against some of the aggro that's popping up. It can both do 3 damage to unit, gain you some life, and help improve the quality of the top of your deck as you go along. So just some good stuff, not armory, but even though it's got a rise to the challenge toolbox, you could call this armory, I suppose, but it's not all about the weapons. It's about having really good units and a couple of good weapons that you can find in the right spot when you need it, whatever the occasion calls for. And just, a deep sideboard. Last Word and Sword of the Sky King as one ofs, as also handy rise to the challenge target. Same with Jack. It's just about adding some extra tools to the toolbox for rise to the challenge, and then just some different flavors of removal and card draw and Sleepless Night and stuff. So this should be quite the matchup here, and we'll give the players the go ahead. We'll be having the game go from the perspective of Elunex, the Felm player, and we'll have the hand cam up for Hulkbuster as well. So the players that go ahead mulligans are resolving. And here we go. Elunex hits that mulligan button. It has 3 power and a Bloodcaster. Not a terrible spot to be, but would like to see a little more power, especially dual faction power, so that these now 2 Champion of Cunnings can do a bit more. On the other end, we've got Hulkbuster with also just some development, right? Some good fixing, but also depleted, but has plenty of influence. That's no doubt about it there, as he opens on a banner, goes to the Seek, and turns on these seats. So we'll be able to curve out. Elunex, though, is not going to be able to curve out. Opted to Seek for a Primal Sigil, which means they can't cast Felm Bloodcaster here. And so no Bloodcaster. Really, Elunex is just hoping and praying to find. And so it goes back over to Hulkbuster, who will use Quarry here. And it sounds like Mark, aka Chibi, is back in the...
I am. Hello.
Excellent. All right, well, Elunex...
Pretty deck.
yeah. Elunex gets kind of paid off for finding Primal there, as Wisdom continues to not find any power. Elunex mulliganed into a 3-power hand, one of which was a 6-power, and just hasn't drawn any since then. And now Hulkbuster, quarried for a rise to the challenge, has plenty of power and is going to rise for something here. Choosing to use the 3-cost rise to the challenge so that he can play the depleted power of the Rakano banner.
Okay. I like that. Most efficient turn possible.
Yeah. I guess we're just maybe going to see a Mokto. That's against Felm.
Yeah.
Or you could go Daisho. No, you only have 5.
Yeah, I only have the 5 power. I like the Mokto.
I think Makto's the grab as well, but we'll see. Ooh, might go Throne Warden. Thinking about Throne Warden.
Ooh.
Yeah, went with the Throne Warden to try and set up, I guess, a little bit stronger of a Hammer of Might or a stronger follow-up weapon. In the meantime, Elunex is finding that power.
Finally.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if I agree with that, right? Because all you have is your hammer, and the runic hammer not very good against Feln.
Yeah, but you're also getting a 6/4 Aegis against Feln. You know, it's not like we can discount that part.
Yes.
It's not like the upfront body's that much worse than what Makto would be bringing to the table. You know, it doesn't have flying, but it instead has Aegis, which honestly might be more valuable, especially once you combine it with the armor it's gaining.
I think that's fair. And now we can see what's it? Oh, you just get the Ikaria.
The natural curve out.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, Akari is here, and is in some trouble.
I was about to say, if you're Elunex, I think you have to chump there.
Yeah, it's interesting that he even swung with the Bloodcaster. Like, I don't know why he didn't want to have double block back. But Lightning Storm pops the Aegis on Ikaria. Death Strike finishes her off. And now we probably see the Bloodcaster go and finish off the last bit of that armor. Elunex, though, down to 12. If Hulkbuster finds what got that Warcry soon, it could be curtains for Elunex. But these champions could end up turning it. But we'll see what this rise. That was a quick choice from Hulkbuster.
Yeah, it was.
Something good's about to come down. Just not this turn. And, oh, man. Yeah, Elunex doesn't have a 5th primal for Champion of Cunning, so it goes with tries Flyer.
That was a 10-10 Ikaria. That is what was the quick pick. Yeah.
Yep. 12-10 Ikaria shows up. Elunex gets to chump the 6/4 block, the Valkyrie Enforcer, and go to
Xaxes.
Yeah.
Hulkbuster doing some work there.
Elunex stuck on power a little too long there, allowing the just powerful units from Hulkbuster to develop. He got to rise to the challenge like 3 times that game and stay ahead on board. That's a recipe for success.
Yeah. But now we're moving to boards. Who do you like post board?
Ooh, this is a tricky one because Elunex can go for gift kind of package, but Hulkbuster is playing a lot of units. Could just end up controlling the board, and then if you go for these Indul's gift plan, just kind of fall behind. Rain of Frogs is really strong against Rise to the Challenge decks, though, so that is an interesting angle. I just don't know if that's enough to catch it up here. Feln is consistent and powerful, though. I do like that, but man, the toolbox from Hulkbuster is really cool, and just 4 Ikaria, 4 Inquisitor Makto, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I know you touched on it. Briefly, but Makto just very good against Feln. Trades with almost every unit in the deck, minus Vara, and it's always coming back.
Yeah, you basically have to set up a steward and then kill him. So that Feln's not short on ways to deal with Makto, but still is strong. So, I see here what else would Elunex change up here? I would guess the Annihilates are coming out. They're Valkyrie, so I don't think that's quite high impact enough, as Zach is basically immune to it, right? We were just talking about how imagine those get swapped. Feeding Time probably comes in. We talked about Rain of Frogs. I just don't know if the gift comes in or not. Like, are you going to try and hope Hulkbuster stumbles and you curve out in a game and you get to stick the gift against a deck with a bunch of 7 and 5 drop?
I don't know if that's the right play, right? Because I mean, like, Hulkbuster still has a bunch of other cheaper things that they can be doing, and a lot of the stuff they can go ahead and play out. Like, I guess maybe I'm re-looking over the deck. I guess they have Valkyrie Enforcer and then Rune Hammer. So like as they're like cheap things.
Once it sticks, it's on.
Yeah.
There's one Furnace Mage. One thing that deals with it. It's just a question of like how confident are you that.
Yeah, I guess. That's tough. I don't know. I'm not sold on that's what you're supposed to be doing.
There's certainly associated as we see players are resolving mulligans and straight into an Azim. That answers that. Right? When throwing a haymaker is sometimes the best way to.
Yeah, so both players just playing a couple power. They like what they see. We do see that Elunex did actually bring in the Azundal's gift, so it doesn't feel in line with how I feel. Hulkbuster gonna be able to play out. Not playing this seat. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, Elunex opting to not play. It almost certainly has to get Shadow.
Yeah, why?
But again, maybe holding it because they might want a 5th primal source to guarantee the Champion of Cunning.
I'm fine with that.
Get buffs. So that's why Elunex knew if they didn't draw Shadow, seeked for it this turn. Meanwhile, Hulkbuster finds that swindle off the back sword.
Yeah, not. Ooh. Really want to leave up Deathstrike. I actually kind of like playing Steward of the Past.
Especially with the swindle draw.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's but again, maybe valuing the. Sorry about that. My connection. Having some issues today. Trying to work. Apologize for robot voices. They might cry.
Not a worry, Rhino. They've got me to fill them in on all the quality plays, right?
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, Comcast is a wonderful company that provides a product that's worth the money.
Right?
Anyways,
very much.
Quarry, suffocate, beat down, 6/4 Throne Ward. It's just like last game.
Yeah, except we get to pop the Aegis this time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we'd be in a slightly different spot because, effectively, Elunex just took a turn off doing just absolutely nothing, but it gave Hulkbuster a free time warp.
Yeah, I understand the idea of slow. I see. Elunex is going to be able to curve out into Azindal's gift. The problem is he's facing down 12 damage on him with a stunned Black Sky. So I don't know if you can actually cast the gift here. And it looks like with that Seek Power coming out, they're going to pass.
Yeah, but no, I guess so. So we're holding up Deathstrike, so that's fine.
This was the exact thing we were worried about.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's at least a blocker that can trade with some things.
Yeah, Hulkbuster has a hammer and big enough to Champion of Cunning yet. But it looks like Elunex is opting to trade with the Throne Ward and not Mokto.
Okay.
And finds a Seek Power, and this swindle has to draw double Permafrost.
Yeah,
Elunex is not interested in.
Nope, just picking it up.
So that was a quick one.
That's
a 2-0.
That was much quicker than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, we talked about the downside of Gift, and I guess the downside showed up. The upside could have showed up. I mean, Hulkbuster won that game with 2 Akarias still in hand at some point, but Elunex just fell behind much too quickly there, and beaten down by a 6/4 and a 6 Jek, showing off how strong he can be when you're already ahead on board. He shuts real quick.
Yeah, for certain. That's, but yeah, and I know you touched on it a little bit, but yeah, that was kind of what I was worried about with the Zendal's gift, and the game kind of articulated my point much better than I did, where it was basically you just he just lands a threat, and a lot of his threats aren't necessarily the easiest to deal with for Felm. Felm can definitely deal with them, but they take a little bit of work, and so that's why I was worried about just having a giant 7-drop in hand that can't actually do anything.
All right, so we're lining up a backup here. Sounds like we're going to be getting LightsOutAce, who on Hombre mid, and I don't have their opponent info yet, but we're about to jump into the game, and we'll know who they are soon enough. So LightsOutAce, sometimes a resident of this booth, is out in the field today, getting up close and personal with the other ETS. And it looks like, okay, here we go. We are dropping in. the match is already tied up 1-1. It's been developed. The Lights Out Ace is up. jkercole, who looks to be on range of some flavor, drops down a Reality Warden. 7/7s are pretty good against Legion.
Yeah, and I'm trying to pull up jkercole,
jkercole, maybe.
Oh,
I
jkercole.
don't have a pronunciation guide, but in the meantime,
I got you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it dropped down. It looks like just an initiative stands and a deleted banner. So not exactly a strong counter punch from jkercole in the face of Reality Warden. Lights Out Ace just playing a second one because the first one wasn't good. The second one would be better. And even if jkercole finds like a permafrost for one of these, Lights Out Ace has a couple Desert Marshals to just free them.
Exactly, and I'm looking at we've got jkercole's list up, and I am seeing it's pretty standard Elysian mid range.
Great Glutton comes out from him here.
Yeah,
but Lights Out Ace has meantime just going to be content to beat down in the sky. Probably play out an Iron Thorn.
Yeah. Play that, still get to hold up Desert Marshal that way.
Yeah, so Lights Out Ace. This is game tied up 1, so we are. Yeah, Lights Out Ace is playing the 4/4 of Mystic Ascent. And I imagine those stay in post board even against Legion. So there may have been a debate of whether or not to play that power.
Yeah, which I think is ooh.
But again, Desert Marshal here can do some work. Can either free up a Reality Warden block. I think that's better than silencing Surso, or you could silence Surso and just block like the 2/1, something.
Yeah, that's kind of like I actually like blocking the initiate. I think silence Surso, block the initiate.
So you can he's going to go with the silence Reality Warden.
Okay.
Block Dawnwalker. Dawnwalker can't come back because the other Reality Warden is.
Very good point. Excellent.
Silenced.
Yes.
So this way you're still blocking 6 damage, and you got this Reality now.
Yeah.
So yeah, great line there. That was the upside of playing that powerful Marshal Iron. It might have been tempting to hold it because you play Mystic, but it's better to have that Desert Marshal available so you're not taking too much damage. Crystallize, which is one of the few ways jkercole can gain control of this game.
Yeah, and here we will see Lights Out hold that sigil, so that way, in case the Mystic Ascendant gets drawn, you're going to be doing that. Are there any Vodacons on the list or no?
I don't think Lights Out Ace was opting to have a Vodacon transformational sideboard. Yeah, nothing like that. No Vodacons from Ace, just mostly beat down stuff. The sideboard is actually to go even lower. Don't have to worry about any. Surso gets silenced and eaten up by the Reality Warden. Another Surso shows up, but Stand Together is real good against Surso. Blocks the Bigify. Also real good against Crystallize. So Lights Out Ace has to be pretty happy. Just has to decide how aggressive.
Yeah, and I mean,
one of these wars just beat down with Valkyrie, but then you run the risk of a showing up. And yeah, here we see the Ace space.
Yeah, which makes perfect sense. And I mean, realistically, Ace could take an even a more conservative line and just pop throw out the Stand Together on his turn and then just beat in 5 turns with the Valkyrie Enforcers at 4/4.
Yeah. Now I'm a big fan of the Ace here. There's really nothing bad. Your whole everything other than your Reality Warden's still going to have an Aegis on it. You don't even have to there for Crystallize, because guess what? You still do, actually. And also your opponent's at 5. Yeah, this is a board that Elysian can't.
So one thing that Cole could have, well, he's only got 6 power, because I was looking, there is a Thunderstrike Dragon floating around in the deck.
That's not going
to be able to block a flyer, but let's see, maybe Scouting Party.
Not quite. No, not even Scouting Party. He scoops it up, and Lights Out Ace takes the match. Man, these are some fast rounds. Maybe this is a part.
Yeah,
I think there's 3 total Chalice decks in the field. Might be Might be part of the
a little bit.
Speed. And by blistering, I mean normal speed. It's actually how they used to go all the time.
Oh man! All right, so I think we're kind of checking on things. And we're gonna go from there. Congratulations to Ace there, though, pulling it out.
Yeah, so it goes to 3-1. Doesn't look like there's any great candidates for a backup match that's super reliable here. There's just a couple matches outstanding, but we do have some other things to talk about that are going on in the world of Eternal. Don't know if you heard, but or got the email, but there's a new Jek's Bounty, essentially, a new campaign/story mode coming out. It's gonna have a bunch of new cards.
Super exciting.
Yeah, we like new cards, and we've been teased with a couple new ones, so we're gonna just. We don't have any exclusives here. This is just stuff that Scarlatch has spoiled on Discord, so I don't want to overhype it. But there's a couple intriguing ones that have been thrown out at us that I think could be fun to talk about and look at. So let's start with let's go in chronological. Start with Devoted Thurge, as I like to call him, the Urge.
Oh, I do like that. No, I like that. I mean, it's a 4/4 for 4, which is fine to begin with, right? Mm-hmm. You're gaining 4 life, so you've got to refresh. It's also going to get any of your life force triggers to trigger right then and there. And then the pay 6 to give it +1/+1 and gain 1. Not only is that a life force trigger, but it's also not an ultimate. So
if you're ramping, you can activate this a couple times a day.
Oh yeah, which is super exciting. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good on this card. I'm feeling the urge to mess around with.
I don't think this guy's gonna set the world on fire, but he might put you out. And at the same time, this is not. This isn't some super huge push, crazy mid-range threat, but it's a really strong role player in time decks. There's other 4-drops in time that aren't the things we go crazy about, but they have a job to play. Praxis Displacer, Marison's Disciple. Mm-hmm. And this card is the same
Sandstorm
idea,
Titan.
Right? Where Sandstorm Titan, classic role player, really just lunch pail, goes to work, scrappy gym rack kind of guy.
Yeah, nothing showy or flashy about that guy, but it's just
but instead this guy's going to complement a lot of strategies, right? We can look at the ETS today and go from a sideboard perspective. We see a lot of Healer's Cloaks in the side.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would prefer to play this card in most of those decks against Stone Scar or Skycrag decks that are down on me, instead of having to try and set up a big unit and then get the life gain. Maybe just get a 4/4 for 4 that trades or beats things and gains you that 4 life right away. So just from there, I think it's going to have some tournament impact. But it could also help prop up Xenon Life Force decks. So super exciting card. And as you said, just up front, 4/4 for 4s. We got a nice on there, gain 4 life. But that activated ability, don't underestimate that. I love
exactly. That's the biggest thing I'm excited about. It's like if it was an ultimate to like make it a 5/5, sure, but just the fact that it also lends very nicely to the types of decks that I like to play, where it's like, more on the control-y end of things. Let's just get a threat out there. Let's hold back as much removal and power as we can, and just invest into single units. That way, we're not. I don't like playing too much of the board, is what I'm trying to say. And this is a card that allows me to not do that. Now, will it have as many synergies if I am playing it that way? Probably not. But you gotta take what you can get.
Yeah. I think this card's gonna hit the sweet spot, and I've been playing a lot of Life Force this week, and while you might not, Life Force has like a density of 4-drops. Katra and like Hate Cleaver and things like that aren't always play on 4. Yeah. This actually gives you a real option to play and set those later. So I'm looking forward to trying. We've got some other cards coming up from expansion as well. I don't think we mentioned it, but the name of it is The Tale of Horus Traver. That's the name of the expansion company. I guess we're going to get background info on some things. But yeah, let's get another card up on this one we just got last night. Auric Interrogator. This one is real. The card we just had like has an obvious life force. Sure.
Yes.
This guy is a bit more flexible in what he can do.
Yeah, and we've definitely we're having a few conversations around this card. I think it's amazing for the rate, like, right, a 3-power 4/3 is fantastic by itself, and the influence requirements not very hard. Double shadow should be perfectly fine for the types of decks that are going to be wanting to run this. I guess I wonder how often, unless you're specifically kind of building to set it off, how often you're going to be getting a Phyrexian type arena, or just basically that draw, that type of effect, actually getting it up to 5 power. It just seems like a lot of work for relatively low payoff when like a 4/3 is just fine to begin with. So, like, I would just rather play this in an aggressive deck.
Yeah, see, that's where I think I'm at. Is it's not a lot of work because the floor of the card, it's not like you're playing like a 2/2 for 3. You're playing a 3 for 3. It's not an embarrassing play. And then the upside is I like drawing cards, turns out. I think who doesn't? So that speaks to me. And you only have to give it +1 attack. So the fact that it happens on the end of your step or the end of your turn is, I think, a big thing that's a little too easy to underrate. Compared to like having to need that extra attack to start, right? So, because you can just play this out, and if you already have you draw a card, or if you use a combat trick on it during your turn, you draw a card at the end of turn. Like, that combat trick becomes a cannon. Put a weapon on it. Every faction seems like it has a way to activate. Where is it actually going to fit? What deck wants it? And there's been gripes before about Shadow kind of being shallow at 3. There's, Countess, Zenin Cultist,
and that
Ravenous Thornbeast.
Yeah, and I think that is arguably the most exciting aspect of this card to me, is that Shadow is getting another playable 3-drop.
Yeah, so I am certainly interested to see where this ends up being the best thing, because just off the top of the head, it's like, oh, it's good with Warcry, so you could maybe fit it in like Argenport. That's more about, like, we see Argenport weapons with maybe some Warcry units, or even alongside Oathkeeper or Oathbook, right? You play this, you have to swing once, but then it starts drawing you cards. It's an okay 3-drop there. Obelisk and Zenin, maybe there's an aggressive Zenin take. We've seen old school killers before. Zenin Initiation works great on this card.
It does. Yes, it does.
So there's all these like little ways where it's just you're playing a good card up front, and then with synergy it becomes a great card.
Exactly.
And that's what I like to see out of cards that we're getting for Construct.
Yeah, I feel like we're ultimately saying the same thing, but
in different flavors.
Yeah.
I'm like, here's the sunny side, and you're like, but it's a 4/3 for 3. Is that actually good? It dies to everything. Those are things you have to keep in mind. But again, with a 3-drop, you can kind of take that kind of floor, right?
Yeah, I guess my thing was, it's more of definitely was seeing a lot of hype around the card, and it feels like a card that could be very easily overhyped. I think it is a very good card. I don't think it's format defining. No, I could eat my words very happily, but because I would love a nice aggressive deck.
This one is tricky to really evaluate until we get in action and see it in the context of certain. You could see this shining in a Stone Scar mid-range deck alongside Statuary Maiden, or I could just see that deck not working. But I think it will find at least one deck that wants to play this, just because it can go like it is Mono Shadow, can go in so many things, and there's so many ways to actually activate it. But it'll remain to be seen actually have.
Well, and
what decks out there will to try and.
Yeah, and I guess are we going over? I guess speaking of cards that are easy to evaluate, are we going over our third spoiler?
We can acknowledge its existence. Yeah. It's kind of half a spoiler right now. So Scarlatch, likes to tease, as we all know, with sometimes just trotting out artwork or bits of words. Scarlatch gave us the whole card here. This Vision of Austerity also makes a second card. We don't know what that does yet. So we can read it though.
Yeah. I was like, it's a 2-power, 1 justice, 1 primal influence. Transform an energy, transform an M and N. Wow, I give up at life. Transform an enemy relic into an omen of austerity, cursed relic. There we go.
Yeah. So Huru currently has no way of dealing with relics or that's reserved for fire and time. So this is an interesting way for this faction pairing to deal with a relic. Instead of destroying it, you transform it into something else. What that something else is, we don't know yet. We're hoping it's something awesome that your opponent doesn't want to have attached to them.
Yes.
It is important to note that this only targets relics, though. This isn't like Ruin where it hits all attacks. It only hits relics that are on somebody's face. It can't hit a Permafrost or a Deep Forge Plate. It's gonna hit a Chalice or an Obelisk or a Flamestoke or something. So it's very, very narrow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, which is definitely puts it firmly. I mean, like, I guess, like, unless Omen is just insane, right? It feels very much like it's never going to make it out of a sideboard, but I think it's fine because, like, as you pointed out, it gives Huru like a slightly different angle of attack. Especially like even think about it hitting a hitting a gift, like even something like that. Granted, if the omen
you'll gain the omen.
Yeah, it's like so maybe that's not good. We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, I think it'll mostly be sideboard play, but it is in the faction color of Celestial Omen and Herald Songs and discard like that. So I think you could see a one-of mainboard play in certain decks that either ways to discard it when it's a dead card and turn it into something else, or Celestial Omen, like part of a one-of Celestial Omen package just because Huru doesn't have access. So it is powerful to have this maybe as a one-of depending on where the metagame ends. But at the same time, you could end up having it just sit in your hand as you're getting down by Stone Scar, like Wise.
And we have no idea what the card actually does.
yeah. So still, it's a cool like answer to this problem that Huru had in terms of like we give them Relicate. It's like, oh, transform relic. So that's pretty cool. But who knows how much this will probably see less play than the other two cards we just saw.
I would imagine.
Yeah, so but we'll still hold out and see what Omen of Austerity ends up being. But yeah, that's just a little mini preview for, again, new campaign expansion, whatever you want to call it, story mode that's coming out in Eternal soon. We don't have a date. We just got an email saying coming out soon. 23 cards. We've looked at 3 of them. There's going to be 20 more that we have no idea what's in store for. So really exciting times for Eternal. And with that, I guess we'll take a little break to set up this. We'll get the matchup real shortly. So just a quick mini break here. We'll be back in just a few with more Eternal action.
Yeah, we'll see you guys then.